Why do so many light workers feel like giving up right now? I'm going to tell you why, because I've been tuning into the field. It's been going on for a few months now, actually, and I've noticed that this isn't just one person, this isn't just a small collective either. This is many light workers all over the world, actually. So many light workers, healers, empaths, and deeply sensitive souls are quietly saying the same thing. And that's, they're either saying, I feel like giving up, or I don't even know what my purpose is anymore. And it's not because they've lost their gifts, they're still gifted, but something feels different this year. Okay. Every year has its own vibe, of course. This year's been really interesting. So if that's you, just know that you're not alone, and I'm going to unpack what's actually happening here. Okay. So I don't actually believe that this is the end of your mission. For those of you feeling this, I don't believe that at all. I think this is the end of an old way of actually carrying it. So, for many years, lightworkers have unconsciously served through depletion. Let's just name that piece. And that might have looked like, holding everything or everyone together, being the healer, being the rescuer, feeling responsible for everyone else's awakening, and maybe giving more than receiving. Some were unconsciously believing that sacrifice somehow made service more sacred. Okay, now that's a very old wound, and I will have a link below to that one. Now, the thing is, something has shifted. With these old, let's call them architectures, collapsing literally before our eyes, lots of people are discovering that they simply can't operate from that frequency anymore. They just can't. And because those old identities have been dissolving, and I know we've been going through this for some time now, and the new ones haven't fully formed yet, it can feel like you've lost yourself a little bit there. Let me know if that feels like you. And that might look like questioning everything, questioning your business, questioning your purpose or your gifts, even your connection to spirit this year. I'd love to hear if that's happening to anyone too. But the thing is, this is not a collective failure. It's not an individual failure. Okay, many people are moving through a profound period of simplification, and actually the Sasquatch Soul Collective has been mentioning that all year, and I will be bringing through their message shortly around this energy for light workers too. And so what I mean by that is things that once felt really exciting, they might suddenly actually feel a bit flat to you. Maybe the old teachings or the old gurus you used to follow, they just don't resonate anymore. And it's like the goals that you came into this, let's call it your business. Well, it's like the goals that you came into this with don't feel important anymore. There is a reason for that, okay? Our priorities have changed. A lot has shifted. And, the life that you spent years building, it might suddenly actually feel too small or maybe too big. It could be either or for you, okay? And again, that's not because something is actually wrong. It's because your soul is asking for a different expression now, okay? And that's one that is actually more sustainable. This is across the board. More sustainable, more authentic, more aligned with who you're becoming now. Because let's look at this, since 2020, the timelines have shifted and shifted and shifted and shifted. We're literally becoming new versions of ourselves quite quickly. This quickening energy that we're feeling, and it's like our human actually can't keep up. So, something else I notice about this is, a lot of sensitive people are carrying this deep nervous system fatigue, which started coming through last year, didn't it? So, whether you see that as spiritually, psychologically, physically, or all of those, the experience has been very real for many people. And you know, when you spent years holding, whether that's intensity or uncertainty or responsibility or emotional weight, eventually your whole system is going to ask for a different rhythm. This happened to me last year. And of course, on an individual level, we have to factor our individual lives into this collective experience. I am a special needs mom looking after a boy with ASD. I've got two elderly people at home. I'm caring for them. I'm running my business. I'm running the house. Yeah. And last year, my body literally said to me, okay, it's time to change things. My body actually wouldn't let me keep going the way I was. So I listened to that. And so our bodies are talking to us, okay? That your body's going to tell you if it can't keep carrying on that way. It doesn't mean that there is not a different, aligned, higher, more gentle or easy or joyous path for you. Now, also, I think we're definitely being invited into a new relationship with our mission itself. And that's because for a long time, many of us have believed that our purpose meant constantly doing or producing or healing or teaching or showing up and giving and all of those things. And so what's happening there is our purpose as a collective, it's actually maturing. And the invitation is that the contribution around this, it no longer has to come through endless doing and therefore exhaustion, right? And so with that being said, that means that the next level is not supposed to come from you doing more, not doing nothing. There is a big difference, okay? And so this is really about becoming coherent with who you already are right now. The old manifestation techniques were teaching us to become someone new, pull the future version into the now. Yeah, cool. Of course it works. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it created almost an inversion for light workers who believed that they couldn't actually share their mission, create success as they are right now. That's what I mean. That's the key. And so you are no longer who you were. None of us are. But for so many of you, you still can't yet see who you are going to be becoming. And so this space between the identities that we have been in for a little while now, it's so deeply uncomfortable. You can literally be changing an identity overnight, and you're waking up thinking, oh my gosh, I thought I was feeling all good yesterday, now I'm not again. That's the vibe of what's actually happening. And what then happens is your mind is going to interpret that as something's wrong, I'm failing, I have lost my path. That is not truth. That is simply not the truth. Your soul is likely saying, and you can ask your own soul here, I'm just bringing this as a collective message, but your soul here is likely saying something more like, the version of you who carried your mission until now has completed her work. Not completed the mission, completed that part of it. Okay, because we can think, especially for newbie light workers, and we come in and we create a business and we think, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Forgetting that, wow, even our purpose and our mission shifts and changes and evolves over time, especially as we are growing. Okay, so this is almost like a forest after a fire. Yeah, everything looks empty, doesn't it? And that's because all of that old growth has fallen away. It appears that nothing's happening yet. It looks dead, doesn't it? And yet beneath that soil, life is already reorganizing itself. Seeds are opening, the roots are strengthening once again. and that new growth is quietly preparing to emerge. Now, from nature's perspective, that's renewal. And, I wonder if that's exactly where a lot of light workers are right now. Not at the end of the mission, but the end of the way that they have carried it until now. And so I sat with my my Sasquatch guide about these energies because it felt really important. Like, this message actually has to come through. There are some of you that absolutely need to hear this right now. So my Sasquatch guide, Cosmo, he brings his message through me, and then I write it, and it's very much a soul collective message from them as well. So sometimes he speaks to me in the I. Most of the time he'll speak to me in the we, as in that Sasquatch soul energy coming through with the message. They are so beautiful. And in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going away for 2 weeks into outback Australia. If you've heard of the Min Min Lights, you will know where I'm going. There is a town close to there, well, 5-hour drive, Winton, where a long time bushman had an encounter. His dad's had an encounter with the local, we call them hairy man here in Australia. I use the word Sasquatch mostly because it's globally recognized, and they actually like being called a Sasquatch, not so much Bigfoot. But yeah, hairy man. So as me and my husband will be going out there, we'll be traveling through the area. I like to obviously connect in with the local clans of the areas if they're still even there, and then we create a video and bring them to you guys. It's fun, it's interesting, and it's something different. So watch out for that next month. Now let's bring through the message from Cosmo. And I just ask him, why do so many light workers feel like giving up right now? And this is what he said. Thank you for bringing this to us, as many healers, light workers, way showers, and those here on the missions of light have found themselves in this interesting holding pattern, if you will. Before we continue, we wish to preface this by saying that not all light workers are supposed to have a business or run a business. Your postman could be a true light worker seeding his mission successfully every single day. The same goes for your bank teller, your pet sitters. Today we speak to those who chose to express their mission of light through a business. Know this, your soul called you into this, which means it's not wrong, you're not off path, and you absolutely have not failed. Thanks to your social media, most light workers attach monetary outcomes of projected and borrowed desires of success from others who don't even hold the same values as you. You can't make that make sense. I love that. And so day after day and year after year, you believe that it's wrong, that you aren't good enough to do this. But who told you that your sacred mission in medicine could not be enough just because you're not making millions? Boom, right? You borrowed the story and claimed an identity that didn't belong to you. And now we're not saying money is not important. For humans, yes, of course it is. Even those who chose to live, oh yeah, so this, I love this. Even those who choose to live slower lives in, say, rural areas had to purchase that land, right? This is the matrix financial construct. And so after you borrowed desires and ideas of success and identities that haven't been met and achieved yet, you think it's all been for nothing or it's time to quit. That's not the truth of it. You chose this path, this purpose, and if it is truly your desire to live, express, and enjoy your purpose, well, then we assume quitting is not an option. I feel like he's quite like to the point today, and that's because this is important. And I'll tell you why exactly right now. He said, the Matrix wants you to quit. Why do you think they were forced to switch off CERN? We will leave that with you. And so rather than giving up, now is a time that is ripe for you to step up and step forward. The Matrix will wait for that seed of doubt in your mind that you have. That is all they need to consent to open the door to the darkness, or lower vibrations, or the underworld, whatever you want to call that, okay? This is really important, which then creates the eternal loop of fear and negative thinking to keep you from rising or evolving or ascending, okay? To keep you from doing what you came here to do in this lifetime. That's because you are so much more and you are so much greater than you've been believing yourself to be. You are the brave soul who chose to serve, support others, assist Gaia and the greater collective beyond this planet. You are angels and masters. You are fairies and dragons. You came back from the failed Golden Age experiments to try again. This is where we ask you not to quit before the miracle lands, for it will. The invitation is simple. Stay the course and allow the blessings to land. But you must first notice them, even the smallest of smalls, because the all is in the small. And so I love that. I don't know, that reminds me of, oh, I've got the picture in my mind. Some children's book where he rhymes funny like that. Anyway. And so what he's basically getting at is count your blessings, notice them, because what's happened is we've gotten so far away from those true blessings that we are receiving in our lives because we're thinking they have to look like these big, you know, fireworks and light bulb moments. We're missing the small stuff. And so something I've started doing myself is noticing, because we've had this string of beautiful good luck. My husband calls it the Lion's luck. His last name is Lion, so my last name is Lions, obviously. We've started calling it the Lion's luck because like good things happen. Why? A lot of things. Yes, there's universal law. Yes, there's karma. My husband does good things for people in our community. And I swear it comes back to it. It's coming back almost instantly right now. Now, some people could say, actually, once upon a time, my husband would have palmed those off as coincidences, but you can't anymore. They're too, it's too constant and in flow that even he's acknowledging that, okay? And I do believe a big part of that is he does good things for other people in the community. And then that energy is coming back to him, right? Same with me. I have my paid offerings, but there are also free offerings that I like to give to the world to support others simply because. Huge manifestation key there if coming from the right intention and purity of the intention, I guess. So, something you can do there, those small things. You can ask Spirit to amplify that blessing when you notice it. You could write them all down, by the way, so you end up with this whole book of blessings. Acknowledge the blessing. So as soon as it happens, literally tell the universe or your guides or God, I acknowledge this, amplify it, please, or expand it, or I see this, turn it up. Okay, so that is you co-creating your reality and co-creating your desires. Money comes into my account. Thank you. More, please. I do a little song and it's so goofy and it's so silly, but the notification comes in. I thank the money spirit. Thanks, money spirit. Thank you. More, please. Thank you. More, please. And I know it sounds childish and silly, but we're dealing with energy here, and dealing with it in a fun, light, playful energy like that really helps. I can tell you it helps. And so, if you are a light worker, if this message has supported you in any way, please let me know below. If you are looking to, what do I want to say about this? I have supported many light workers over the years since 2018. And the most interesting thing I have been able to bear witness to is the women that came to me. They knew what to do. You know, they were either Akashic Records practitioners or spiritual guides, healers. The most powerful things I have seen happen is when we sat together and I found what I call lightworker entities, because there are specific matrix frequencies and attachments specifically made for you. How special is that? And so they're the kinds of things we clear up when you enter into my world and when you work with me. I've seen some amazing money drops happen after clearing those entities, which were slowing down the business and slowing down the money. If you would like to reach out to me, I will pop my email down below to discuss whether that's something you would like to do. Okay, I'm sending you so much love and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.